Today I'm going to show you how to tie a worm harness using a technique that'll ensure your hooks are spaced evenly every time. Here I have two fly tying vices set up so that the hooks are spaced exactly 3 inches apart. I'll start by securing a hook into each vise. Next I'll take a 5-foot section of 12-pound fluorocarbon leader and pass it through the eye of the rear hook. I want the tag of this line to go just beyond the shank of the hook. Now I'll snell this line in place. You'll want to place a lot of tension during the first couple wraps in order to get them to stick. I'll do about 7 or 8 wraps. After I finish my wraps, I'll hold them securely in place while I find the opposite end of the line in order to pass it back through the eye and snug it tight. As I do this, I'm paying close attention to the line to ensure that there are no kinks or twists that will tighten down and create weak spots. Once I've passed all the leader line back through the eye of the hook, I'll apply steady pressure until the knot is completely snugged itself up against the back side of the eye of the hook. I'll come back and trim the tag line later, but when I do this, I want to make sure we leave a bit of line just in case there's any slippage when a fish hooks up. Now I'll pass the leader through the eye of the front hook and pull the line taut. We'll basically repeat the snelling process, but this time keeping a little bit of tension on the line to ensure that we get that exact spacing that we're after. Again, I'll wrap about 7 or 8 times, then I'll pass the other end of the leader back through the eye of the hook and we'll snug it up nice and tight once more. Again, as I pass the line back through the eye of the hook, I'm watching carefully to ensure that there are no twists or kinks that are going to cause weak spots. Once the line is taut, I'll give it a nice steady tug in order to secure that knot down against the back of the eye of the hook. Now I'll release the pressure off of my back hook and I'll trim my tag line. Remember, we want to leave a bit of tag line so that this knot has room to snug down even more without slipping completely free. At this point, I could consider this rig to be done, but I'm going to add a little UV glue to each of my knots, spread it around, and then hit it with a UV light to really lock those knots in place to ensure that nothing slips during a fish hookup. This UV glue takes about 30 seconds to fully cure under the UV light. The great thing about this type of snell knot is it really ensures that when the line slides through a fish's mouth, it'll turn and hook up every time. To add a third stinger hook to this rig, simply shift the forward hook to the rear vise, then put a new hook into the forward vise and repeat the snelling process that you did in the original worm harness. To do this, we'll pass the line through the forward hook eye, then we'll go ahead, wrapping backwards and snell this line onto the hook. When we've completed our 6 or 7 wraps, then we'll bring the line back through the eye of the hook and snug it up. This technique will ensure that the spacing between your hooks is always exactly the same every time. And you can adjust the distance between the hooks simply by adjusting the distance between the 2 vices before tying. I'll add a little more UV glue onto my third and final hook, and then I'll hit it with the UV light in order to cure it, and we're ready to go fishing. Thanks for watching this Vermont Master Anglers QuickTip. For more videos and information, check out our Facebook page at Vermont Master Anglers. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe.